Good morning, Zio here, and today we're talking about Cyberpunk 2077 and the rumors behind why it has been delayed. So if you haven't already subscribed to the channel, go ahead and do that now. Hit that like button, share the video, and all that jazz as we get into it, shall we? But as you can see, Sunday I did talk about for a quick moment about how Cyberpunk 2077 was pushed back after, of course, earlier in the week talking about how it was coming out like 7 days after Final Fantasy VII's remake was going to happen because it just got pushed back. And, it happens. Anyway, Cyberpunk 2077 has been delayed and they said the game is pretty much ready to go. However, they're working out bugs and other things, and they're crunching and all that good stuff to get it out the door in a timely fashion, and we just have to wait a little bit longer to get it, which really isn't that big of a deal, to be totally honest. I mean, when it comes to games, I'd rather it be pushed back a little and get a more complete product than have something that is a buggy mess that is, unplayable in parts, that has issues here and there. But so I can't really fault that. But the rumor, of course, is, and the rumor's not exactly what I would call a rumor, because it happens every time just about when it comes to certain games. But it has to do with optimization for all the hardware that this game is going to be played in. Of course, this game has apparently been developed more for the PC side of things. And, just like other games generally are, they have to be optimized for consoles because consoles just aren't as powerful as PCs. Whether it's the PlayStation or the Xbox or whatever it is, that seems to be the case. And this is currently, of course, roaming around, and people are thinking it's doom and gloom for the game because, they're having to rework things or get it optimized for the original Xbox One. That's not exactly doom and gloom. I'm just saying that happens with a lot of games. It really does. A lot of this stuff is not developed right on the hardware. They develop it using PCs, computers, and such, and then they have to sort of optimize it and port it over to whatever console it is that they're trying to do, which is why, they generally get dev kits that allow them to optimize for the proper hardware so the game can then play. So let's go ahead and just take a look at this real quick. But, like I was saying last week, CD Projekt Red did say that they were pushing it back. The studio exclaimed that the game is finished and playable, but still needs more time to squish bugs and fix many glitches that are present in the current build. Again, totally okay with that. I'd rather have, a game I'm anticipating be delayed, so it's really good, versus being shoved out the door because of some number that somebody's put out and said it has to go right now, and then having the game suffer as a result. But yeah, this is probably one of the reasons why CD Projekt Red decided to delay the game, but according to a Polish insider, Boris, I'm not going to be able to say his last name. I'm sorry. I'm going to butcher that. I'm probably already butchering the first name. Anyway, current generation consoles are actually the main problem for the developers. And yeah, it really is. Like I said in the past, consoles are just not as powerful as the PC. There's nothing wrong with that. I prefer everybody to be able to play on their system of choice, whether it's the Xbox, whether it's the PlayStation. Doesn't really matter. PC, whatever is your favorite thing. I think everybody should be able to play whatever games they want on any system, on any hardware, whatever it is. However, there are still limitations to what can be done. But apparently, while speaking to a podcast, I'm sorry. Anyway, the original Xbox One console is not powerful enough to run the game properly, and apparently Cyberpunk 2077 performance on the console is extremely unsatisfactory. And if I remember correctly, this also happened with The Witcher, where it took a hit because it couldn't work on, the systems. And there have been other games like that too. I think Watch Dogs was one of those where, maybe it was Watch Dogs. I can't remember which one it is off the top of my head right now, but the footage that was showed off at E3 and wherever else it was showed off looked amazing. But then when it actually got released, it was a huge downgrade compared to what they were showing from their, in-game footage at the time. And then it wasn't long after that until modders and stuff found out, oh, hey, here's all the really high-res stuff still in the data. Let's patch it back in, that sort of thing, or yell at them to patch it back in. I can't remember exactly what happened. It's been a while. But, it existed, except for it was taken out of the PC version, so it would be on par with the consoles. And because the consoles were not as powerful as what they were expecting, it was a huge downgrade graphically compared to what, people were expecting on the PC. And eventually people on the PC did get what they wanted. They got that graphical upgrade. But this is not a new thing, and it doesn't mean doom and gloom for the game. Although it does mean that if you want a better looking product, you should probably get it for the PC. Just saying. Or I will wind up getting it if I can ever get the, shekels to actually get it. Coffee. It's the only thing that keeps me alive nowadays. Without it, I'd be dead somewhere. Anyway. But, Boris confirmed that this is a problem with Xbox has not been solved by January 2020. The release date must be postponed. And then we go down and, we get into, The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt revealed a pretty noticeable downgrade close to the release. And apparently the reason for that was entirely due to the consoles. Again, I'm talking about games that have released that looked great at E3, that looked great at whatever, thing they were shown at, but when actually released, had a noticeable downgrade. That was one of them. But yeah. Anyway, all in all, it's some pretty big news if true, but it's not really. I know a lot of these sites are pushing it up like it's doom and gloom for the game, like it's big news, this is something new, this has never happened before. It happens a lot. It happened with God of War, happened with Watch Dogs, happened with The Witcher, happening with Cyberpunk 2077. A game is not going to be good until it's finally optimized and finally is good, So they've got an extended deadline at this point to get things worked out for the console sides, as well as set up, whatever side quests that they are attempting to do. But, hopefully CD Projekt Red will find a way to properly optimize Cyberpunk 2077 without any downgrades. However, I'm not too hopeful with that. Just due to the fact that, the current generation is the current generation. There is no more to it. They're having to optimize for the lowest common denominator of that current generation right now. And the newer systems are a decent time away, so there's no real point to even attempt to do any optimization for those, as for one, there's really nothing out there yet. They don't have any information, they don't have the dev kits and other stuff out there properly able to do a whole lot with it. And it is so far in, it's not like you can just flip a switch and go, all right, we're going from PS4 to PS5, flip the switch and it's better. It's not going to happen that way. It's going to take time, take a lot of energy, a lot of time to get it re-optimized for a completely different system, even though, it's the upgrade to the other system, but it is a still new system altogether. But we do have a rough translation here of that podcast, which looks really bad blown up because apparently this is the best picture anybody can find. Because nobody can find the original, I guess. Anyway, so it looks bad. But yeah, this is apparently a translation of Boris. Sorry, dude, or ma'am, or whoever. I'm sorry. Anyway, but when the release date appears, lots of rumors appeared at GDC. They talked about or talked to the important people who said that this game is The forum has no way for it to go on current generations. At this point, it's not rumor information from inside the studio. Some people are not yet solved, or some problems are not yet solved. Mainly technical. Industry rumors say that these knew they were there was a very high probability not delivering the game. Rumors died down around 2/3 months ago, or 2/3 of a month ago. When the premiere was delayed, Boris came to the information very strongly confirmed that the biggest problem is the Xbox One. The first version from 2013, and the game there is extremely unsatisfactory. He got information that is the problem with the Xbox has not been solved by January. The premiere must be postponed. You know, I'm going to put this down in the description, of course, because this is hard for me to read. I am nearsighted. Even with my glasses, it is hard to read. And Corey Borlaug, who is worked, I believe he's a creative director right now at Santa Monica Studios. He worked on the God of War series, and of course he chimed in on Twitter on this whole thing, you know, defending those at Cyberpunk 2077, because there's a lot of things that people don't realize when it comes to video games. You know, you've got people screaming that they have to have a male and female counterpart into a game. We saw that recently with whatever the heck that other game was called, and the developers just didn't want to do it. But then you had people who were coming in as the experts, you know, running in and going, well, it's really easy. You just do this, 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 and this, and boom, there you go. But again, it's not something that happens overnight. It takes time to do these things. You know, you can't flip a switch and have it happen. It's not like you can make Steve stay over one afternoon and boom, it's ready to go. And the same thing when it comes to like difficulties of games and things like that. You just don't flip a switch and suddenly you have an easier or harder difficulty to a game. So, you know, this stuff does take time. But yeah, he pretty much comes out you know, quote tweeting this article, or maybe not this article, one of the articles. Let's see, this was Push Square. Oh, anyway, point is, retweeting one of the articles going, every game runs badly until you optimize it for the hardware in the final push before gold. And that's pretty much true when it comes to a lot of that stuff. But so I feel I need to explain upon this because many may not have the most accurate picture of the gaming making process. In truth, we often probably do not want to share this because for some reason we believe people will jump to an apocalyptic conclusion and get angry, which is what's happening kind of right now. Anyway, I can't say that I speak for the industry, so fellow devs, chime in if you disagree or correct me if you feel your experiences are different. But I feel this to be true for most games. Games are very ugly for a long time until they are not. Traditionally, this is near the end. This is due to absolutely effing banana level of complexity and moving pieces required to make really any game today. We are more often than not going on passion and belief that the vision of this buggy / duct taped together thing is going to come together in the end. To me, there is nothing shameful or nefarious about the game not running well in development. We all obviously want to release the smoothest, most bug-free experience humanly possible. Sometimes we mostly succeed, sometimes we don't, but it's never because we did not try. And yeah, he's definitely right on that. When it comes to games, it takes a lot. There's a lot into it, a lot of hard work, and you know, it's just not done until it's finally done. You know, it looks bad, it may not run properly until it's finally just done, and everything just falls together, especially with the complexity of video games today. That's why it's not as easy as flipping a switch, you know, to change something that you may find minor, like difficulty. How hard is it to put an easy difficulty in the game? Well, it really just depends on the developer, their creative vision for it, and how difficulty is going to work in that game, because it's not as easy as just buffing all the numbers and subtracting numbers from other parts, you know. But yeah, that's essentially what's going on. The Xbox One is holding us back. Thanks, Xbox. Microsoft, why you gotta do this to us? Anyway, let me know what you think about all this down in the comments below, and I will talk to you later. See ya.
Hey, thanks for watching. Don't forget to leave a comment, smash that like button, and always subscribe for more. And of course, there are other videos floating around somewhere on the screen, so click one of those and see if you can find something that suits your fancy. Till then, I'll see you later. Bye.